So you actually trust the guy with the sunglasses?
His name is Albert. Alberty, as I call him. And yes, I trust him. He killed T-Hoken and dispatched some of our enemies.
So he says.
He told me everything right from the beginning. 4 of our enemies' team were in that monastery when he entered it, Darcy, Bunny, Tom, and another guy. First, Alberty managed to activate T-Hoken's statue of wrath, which confronted the boys with their worst fears and kept them from going on. When Bunny tried to stop him, he threw her into the arms of the Midas statue, turning her body into gold. Darcy tried to flee like a coward, but he shot her. So one of our enemies is dead, 1 is gilded, and 2 others will never annoy us anymore because they will be tormented by their fears until they die of starvation. And then he entered T-Hoken's tomb, for which he didn't need any help, and killed T-Hoken before he could rise from his grave. If that's not enough to trust someone, I don't know. I think we could use him more often for missions like that, since he seems to be an expert in infiltrating old caves that no one has explored for ages.
Perhaps he was telling you fairy tales.
Just like you when you claim to be strong enough to become a part of the Trinity?
What do you mean?
You've deceived me many times, more than anybody else so far. And then you let the other side steal the Infata Stone while you were in Japan.
That was bad luck, nothing else. May I remind you that they only got hold of the Eye of Isis because you couldn't protect it against a little crowd of your former guinea pigs, and they got the Hands of Wrath more because Claudia couldn't reach the furnace of the gods before them. We all make mistakes, Snatla.
At least Claudia got us the Infata Stone back, the artifact you lost.
But only for a short period of time, because a few days later our enemies got it back, destroying a part of your castle and killing Claudia while they were at it.
That's right. Claudia died trying to protect my castle. What about you, Felicity? What would you do if you were in a similar situation? When Alexia told you she wasn't going to work with us, you didn't dare to remind her that we have the means to force her if she doesn't obey. She could have hurt you, right? But that wouldn't have stopped me.
Of course, if I were immortal I could afford to have such a big mouth too.
You're having a big mouth now, and I'd strongly advise you to watch your mouth. I'll make sure that little Ashford bitch will be at our little party tomorrow, so I can fix the damage you've caused.
Leave me alone.
Is that what you would tell the child abusers who might ambush you here? Why does a pretty young lady like you run around in such a dirty district?
It's the shortest way home from school. Go away.
The shortest way home, I see. But don't you aristocrats usually have chauffeurs in limousines to pick you up from school?
Do I sense jealousy there?
Ah, another aristocrat, and it's Felicity Farnsworth. I can imagine why someone like you hangs around in a place like this. You're looking for some innocent children to rape, like your father did when he was still alive, aren't you? See, little girl, people like her are the ones you should be afraid of. Fortunately, you now have an adult with you to protect you from them.
And who protects me from people like you? I can't see any adults here. All I see is a nasty reporter who sticks his nose in everybody's sus to not miss the newest farts of aristocracy.
What did you just say?
Oh, I'm sure you heard her. She may be young, but not stupid. Piss off, Nishimura. No one needs you here.
You know what? My little son, Toru, loves the articles I write about you. I read them to him every night as bedtime stories.
Really? Well, if he falls asleep while you're reading your lies to him, they must be extremely boring. Exactly. Go fuck yourself. Thank you for saving me from him. He has been stalking me for days. Sooner or later he will catch the attention of the police. Then they'll see what kind of person he is, and his days as a gossip reporter will be numbered. My parents and I really don't give a damn about Hiroto Nishimura's articles. We know he is a liar, so I'm glad to finally meet you. I would love to hear the true story about your family from your point of view. Well, not everything about his articles is a lie. It's true that my father was a bad person and a rapist, and I lost my best friend because of him. But a young girl like you should not bother her head about stuff like that. The world is a cruel mistress, which you'll find out soon enough, so enjoy your innocent childhood while you can.
Actually, I'd like to grow up as soon as possible, even if it means that bad things might happen, because we can also learn from our mistakes, and no mistake is so bad it doesn't have anything good about it.
Wise policy. Did you get that from your parents?
I've thought that up myself. But speaking of my parents, I have to go now, or else they will be worried. See you.
Take care, and don't let that annoying reporter harass you again. Nothing is so bad it doesn't have anything good about it. Perhaps you're right, young lady. Some people on this planet still seem to be just better than others.
And I'm the best chance you'll ever get to decide who is worthy to stay on this planet and who isn't. Finally, Baroness Duma, and we will rule this world together.
Miss Natla, I freed you from your prison on that island called Kuril, but I still don't understand what we're doing here in the Antarctic. If I'm not there when my husband comes home from work, he'll get worried and begin to ask questions.
You're always so impatient.
Yes, because I finally want those people to burn. My mother was the only person who ever cared about me. She died because of those reporters and the other arrogant snobs, and they shall not get away with what they did.
They won't. Don't worry about Archibald, he's not very clever. It'll take him ages to understand what the recent changes in the policy of his facility mean, and he won't go home before he knows.
Actually, all is still the same, with the exception that Duma Industrial Enterprises now produces its deadly products to kill a certain single person, that girl you call Princess Heart. But I still don't see the point. You said we can rule the world together, so why don't we finally start?
I told you, it takes 3 to rule. You've proven worthy to become one of my allies, but we still need a third person, and perhaps we'll find that person here.
You mean that little boy?
Don't be foolish. Good evening, Alfred. How is your sister?
What a stupid question.
That happened almost 3 years ago. Alexia was a highly intelligent researcher for Umbrella, and recently started to work on her own virus, which is now adapting to her body in cryostasis.
Why cryostasis?
Apparently her test subjects who were deliberately infected with the virus turned into uncontrollable violent monsters within hours. They gained a lot of power, but lost their intelligence in return. Alexia figured out that the only way to avoid this was to give the body the possibility to slowly get used to the virus. If this experiment succeeds, said virus will bestow great powers on her, and she might actually qualify as the third person to rule the world with us when she wakes up.
How do you know she won't stab you in the back as soon as she's become powerful?
Don't worry. It was me who made it possible for her to start this experiment. There was a reason for that, and believe me, I made sure she will never forget it.
I found her in Silent Dragoon, as you said. Is she really the Angel of Darkness? And if so, why wasn't she able to avoid being turned into a zombie?
Brains. Must eat brains.
She probably doesn't even know of her true power. I've read about Claudia Wolf. She used to work as a spiritual companion of some sort, excelling in cartomancy, voodoo divination, that kind of thing. So she's probably aware of her nature, but not to the full extent, unlike Princess Heart, who doesn't seem to know anything at all.
Can you heal her?
I'll do my best. And in the meantime, you better do something about that intelligence agency you told me about. They must be stopped, or else they might become a bigger threat than I thought.
I need your help.
And now you want him to join our staff.
We need another mole, someone who can actually accompany our agents. They're currently on the way to an island in the South Pacific called CmA, and it would look a little strange if you showed up there, Smithy.
I see.
Do I really have to do this?
Ken, don't forget who saved your life all those years ago, when Volkov nearly killed you with an axe. You didn't even remember your name when I found you. I became your mother, and now you'll be a good son, and do what I tell you.
Alright, Baroness, I'll arrange his journey to the South Pacific, but you better get out of here now. Jones could come in any minute to go over some new strategies, and we can't afford being seen together.
Of course. And Ken, you know what to do.
Kate, wait.
Sorry, I don't have time for your stupid games now.
Please let me explain. I didn't want to walk out on you at the goal 13.
But that's just what you did. And now you'll excuse me. I have work to do.
This time you really botched it, Ken.
Why am I always left alone?
Tom and the others are stuck in Greece, the rest in the Antarctic, so it seems like we are on our own for the time being. I think it's best to let Heather live in our new apartment, as long as we're busy with infiltrating Natla's hideout, so we do not have to take care of her as well.
Yes, protecting Heather is our first priority. I'm sure the Trinity of Tragedy will keep their eyes open for new occasions to destroy her. Unless we destroy them first. But before that, we must find out where Natla's new headquarters is. We already went to her castle yesterday, just to find it empty.
Of course. Now that you know of its location, I didn't expect them to stay there anyway. But fortunately, a reliable source told me that the Baroness will give a ball tomorrow evening. That's perhaps the right place for your investigations.
A reliable source told you that? Who is that reliable source?
I am.
You.
Yes, and I want Agent Omnibuson to accompany you to that ball. That's all for now.